This could very well be one of my very last rides on the DRZ. We'll see. Woo! Check, check, check. What's going on, everyone? Back with another episode of Stuff and Things. Out on the DRZ today, as per request. I did a live stream earlier this week, and I got a few questions about where the motovlogs have been, where the bike has been, and rightfully so. I mean, I really haven't ridden this thing much this summer. I did post on Instagram a few weeks back a picture of the bike when I was out riding. I filmed an entire motovlog. Let's go around this guy. So I filmed an entire motovlog like a week or two ago, maybe even longer than that. And the problem was that the camera was like this the entire time. It was just pointed down at my tank and the speedometer, and it just kind of ruined all of the footage. So hopefully it's better now. I know you guys can see me. Hopefully, I don't know. So I'm just out on a quick ride today, going to grab some lunch. You guys requesting to see the bike kind of gave me an excuse to bring it out, because typically I just don't ride anymore. I only bought this bike a year ago, for those of you who don't know. For those of you who don't even know about motovlogging, this is it. Just vlogging from my helmet cam as you ride around. I used to follow a lot of motovloggers who have channels here on YouTube, and this is like all that they do. There's some entertaining content out there, but it's just, I don't know, it's not really my thing. It's honestly sort of like a podcast, except you're crazy because you're just driving around talking to yourself. So I bought this motorcycle because I've been riding forever. If you want to check out some other motovlogs where I talk about other motorcycles, you can check out some links up in the corner. But yeah, I got this motorcycle about a year ago, did some modifications to it, a bunch of videos of it on the channel already, and it rained a lot last summer, couldn't ride a whole lot, and then the whole sat van thing came about. Been traveling very frequently, and I just haven't been riding much. A lot of people said that I should bring the bike with me as I travel around, and yeah, that would be cool to have a trailer hitch and everything, but at the same time it's just another headache because it makes the van longer. It makes me more of a target for people to kind of steal something. If this is chained up on the back of my van, it's going to draw more attention than the van already does, so that's kind of not really what I'm looking for. A smaller motorcycle could fit in the back underneath the bed, like the Grom. That could probably fit in there with the bed at the normal level. But for the most part, that is why I ride electric vehicles like the One Wheel and electric skateboards and things like that. It makes travel a lot easy, gives me a little bit of range outside of the van if I don't feel like driving around, and I can pull a One Wheel out and go about 18 miles or longer if I keep the charger with me. So anyway, what's new on the bike? What's been going on? You kind of know why I haven't been riding now. The DRZ right now is actually listed for sale. I was just kind of beating myself up thinking about it. Similar to the STI. When I sold the STI, I was traveling a lot. I didn't take it out a whole lot. It was like a weekend car, and I felt bad. That was a very expensive car, just sitting there, expensive insurance because I'm still relatively young, and it just felt like a waste, dumping all that money away, so I figured it'd be better with a new home. Now the DRZ, however, doesn't cost me any money. I own the STI, I do own the DRZ, I bought it outright. I'm not really paying a whole lot in insurance, but I just look at it as, I don't know, it's just sitting there in the garage collecting dust. On the rare occasion that I do break it out, it's carb, so it kind of takes a little bit to get going. Once it is running, it is strong. I only got 1,056 miles on it. But I see it sitting in the garage collecting dust, and I'm like, man, I could offload that thing. It wouldn't really hurt me because I don't have an emotional attachment to this. And I could use that money for something else. Now, part of me always wants to have a motorcycle. I've been riding motorcycles for a long time, and it's just nice to always have one like this. It's a great bike, doesn't cost me money. and if I ever feel like riding, I can go out and go for a quick spin. That being said, however, I of course got the itch, and I kind of want something else. I just kind of put this for sale on Craigslist as a feeler. Haven't had any bites yet. I talked to one person who was sort of interested, and yeah, I just don't know where it's gonna go from here. I could like stun it out or something, but that would require putting more money into it, getting sliders and all sorts of stuff like that, change the gearing, and then it's even harder to sell in the future. Right now it's relatively stock other than the few things that I've done to it. It's just a great bike, and the longer it sits there for years in the garage not being used, the less value it holds. So thinking if I want to switch it up again, I might as well do it sooner than later. Now that sort of leads me to the next point. What would I do if I sold this? Honestly, I have no idea, except one. There's one thing that's been on the back of my mind for a while now. Oh man, it's been since before I even started my YouTube channel, this YouTube channel I should say. And now with everything that I do here on the channel, this idea is calling me a little bit more than ever before. So I explained this in an old moto vlog of all the bikes that I used to ride, used to own. There was one that I rode that is now catching my interest more than ever, and that is these Zero motorcycles. If you haven't heard about them, if you haven't seen them, simple Google search will do you good. But basically, they make electric motorcycles, Zero motorcycles. And I'm not talking a motorcycle like I reviewed in the past when I was down in North Carolina. I'm talking like full-blown, rideable, well-developed technology motorcycle in the same form factor as the DRZ, actually. The one that I've had my eye on, I've ridden like, damn, it must have been like 5-6 years ago now. I rode the Zero FXS, I believe is what it was. I'm not exactly sure on the model name, but I rode basically everything in their line at a dealership when I was down in Richmond, Virginia. And the experience of riding an electric motorcycle is unlike anything else. You guys know I do a lot of reviews on electric vehicles, skateboards, one wheels. I did do that like one-off electric motorcycle review. I'm using that term loosely for that thing that I rode. I kind of reviewed a little unicycle thing at the same time as that motorcycle, and yeah, there's just something about electric vehicles that I really enjoy. It's obviously the future with all these car companies releasing electric vehicles now. It's probably hard to hear me when I'm going this fast, so hang on a second. Whew. This thing is still fun, man. So you guys know I'm really interested in electric rideable technology, and I think a Zero motorcycle would be really cool, even just to test, like for a couple months. Not necessarily to own, but if I did get rid of this, maybe I could find one cheap, maybe I could just pick one up new. But then I'm afraid I'm gonna fall back into that same thing that I'm in now with the DRZ. If I do get rid of this and end up selling it, if I just go and buy another motorcycle, isn't it just gonna sit like this one is right now? Probably. Part of me likes to think that if I had a Zero motorcycle, one, I could make a couple videos right off the bat, kind of doing reviews and going over it a lot, sort of like I did to this. Modification wise, probably wouldn't do anything to it, but then again, I haven't really looked into aftermarket stuff for those motorcycles. So I can knock out a bunch of videos like outright, but then after that, would I continue to motovlog? I'm definitely not a motovlogger. This is the first one I've done in probably 9-10 months, something like that. Is it just gonna be another valuable thing sitting there in the garage collecting dust that I don't use? There's so many different pros and cons to it. Like, if I did have the Zero and I decided to bring a motorcycle around with me, I could charge it from the van, which is super cool. Not that filling this thing with gas costs a lot of money, because it doesn't, but the amount of money it takes to get a full tank on the Zero motorcycle, the specific model that I'm interested in, is like 81 cents or something like that. It's literally pennies on the dollar compared to gasoline prices or anything else. And I mean, that's something that's cool as well. The range on those motorcycles, not that good. Obviously, you can't just pull over at a gas station and fuel up if you're getting low. The ride that I'm doing right now should be fine. It depends, really. Like, I haven't done any testing, but based off of their claims, you could do like 70 miles an hour just ripping on the highway for like 45, 50 miles or something like that. But if you're just cruising back roads, sort of like I'm doing now, you could probably stretch that out to be closer to 100 miles. And whenever I ride, I'm barely going 50 miles anymore. Like, I'm just kind of cruising around. Like right now, I'm going to grab lunch. So I don't think that would be an issue. You could always bring your charger with you. You could hot swap batteries and things like that. So that would be a con of an electric motorcycle, but I don't know if that would really be a con for me. My main thing is, if I do sell this, and if I do get something new, whether it's a Zero motorcycle or not, would I actually ride it? So that's kind of where I'm sitting on the whole motorcycle thing right now. If someone decides they want to buy this thing and they're not lowballing me on price, I might sell it. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have an emotional attachment to this. None of my friends have motorcycles anymore, so I don't have any friends to ride with. It just is really time consuming too, which is another reason why I don't ride. Taking a few hours out of a day to just go rip around on a motorcycle just doesn't make sense to me, unless I'm motovlogging. So that's just a quick overview of my thoughts on where the bike's been, where my mind's at as far as motorcycles go and things like that. I'm super indecisive when it comes to things like this, so who knows what I'll have a year from now. If you have any electric motorcycle recommendations other than a Zero, let me know. Maybe there's some new stuff out there. I already rode a bunch of Zeros and I know I like them. They were really cool and fun to ride, so it would be neat. If you work at Zero, hit me up, shoot me an email on my website, talonsci.com, shoot me a message on Instagram or something like that. But yeah, I think that would be a cool little addition to the channel, since this thing doesn't get much love as of lately. So that's it for this quick update. That's all I really got for today. I'm gonna go put this thing back in the garage, and who knows, maybe if I can think of some topics to moto vlog about, maybe I'll bring it out again before I sell it, or before the end of summer, before the weather gets bad. Alright guys, that's all. If you are new to this channel, consider clicking subscribe. I make new videos every week, and as always, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.